Hey everybody, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. This is Sami Abusaad, Director of Education at T3 Live, coming on with another weekly video from the Strategic Swing Trader newsletter. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great start to your weekend. We have a holiday weekend, so it's going to be a 4-day week next week. And I'm looking forward to having lots of stuff to do this weekend. Lots of things to catch up on, lots of fun stuff. I hope you are too. We're going to get started by taking a look at the market, and we'll take a look at I'm going to look at the FANG stocks for you. I got a couple of emails from people requesting that I look at some of the FANG stocks, so we'll do that, and then we'll take a look at some of the daily watches for next week, and then we'll take a look at some bearish watches, of course. I am a bear at heart, okay? So let's get started. I'm going to switch on the charts here real quick. Okay, there we go. The QQQ, which is the tracking ETF for the NASDAQ 100, remains in an uptrend. Look, guys, really, if you ever traded with me in the room, in the strategic day trader room, you would immediately know that I'm the most bearish guy you'll ever see, probably. But the trend is your friend. That's as true a saying as it gets on Wall Street. And it doesn't matter how much resistance there is to the left. I mean, it does, but the trend usually is stronger than any resistance. If we were to look at let's say the monthly chart here, when we fell apart in December, did support hold? Did support stop the market from going through it? No, it didn't. So the market is just in a really bullish uptrend. I don't know what it's going to take for it to break that uptrend, but it ain't going to be resistance. I can tell you that much. Probably it's going to be a wide range bar. A wide range bar like so, and then that would be kind of the exhaustion maybe, and then we start to fall. Now when we start to fall, because we still have a rising 20, a 45-degree rising 20 on the daily chart, we're not going to fall apart. If we do fall, it's going to be just a little bit, probably just a pull back to the rising 20, and then from there we probably go sideways for the next several months, maybe weeks, but I'm thinking probably months. What happened here the last 7 weeks now in a row was the ultimate sign of bullishness. We had presumably set the top after a 10-year rally from 2009, right, the beginning of 2009 to the end of 2008, right, until October 4th, 2008, so almost a 10-year rally. And then we presumably put in the top and fell apart. I was ecstatic, of course. Not that I want the country not to do well, and I do, just as much as you do, but I like bearish markets. I like to short. I think it's a lot easier to exploit fear rather than greed, which is the dominant emotion when the market is moving up, right? But then we went back up, and now we're actually even above the 20 MA on the monthly chart. So what that means is when we fall back, at some point we will, right? We're gonna come in a little bit. We're not gonna fall all the way back down. We're not gonna go in a downtrend. I don't think. Of course, I'm entitled to change my opinion if the chart proves me wrong, proves what I'm saying wrong right now. But based on what I've seen, we're not going to really fall apart. What's going to happen probably is we're going to come in a little bit. I'm going to clean the chart up. We're going to come in a little bit and then go sideways. And then eventually, depending on if we base at the bottom and the 20 MA starts to curl, then sure, we might fall if that ends up happening. But based on the rally, what I think is going to happen is we're going to come in a little bit, fall, and then go back up and base at the top, and the moving average on the monthly chart is going to catch up, and we go higher. That's what I think is going to happen. I hope not. Don't get me wrong. I hope not. I hope we actually base bearishly like I showed you, and then the 20 MA starts to curl and to point down, in which case it'll be a transition C on the monthly chart. But I don't really foresee that. If you look at last week's video and you look at the comments, I mean, I'm having to explain myself that you can't be bearish yet, right? Me, the most bearish guy in the world, is having to tell people it isn't bearish yet. So, believe it or not, right? You can look at the comments from last week. And that remains the case here. We're not yet bearish until we get multiple time frame alignment, which means the weekly goes in alignment with the daily. The daily is in an all-out uptrend, and what's going to take for it to break, I think, maybe a peekaboo new high that takes out the resistance, and then a false new high basically, and then we fall from there. But again, I don't think we're going to fall apart. We just fall to the 20 MA, and then maybe from there we go sideways. I do these videos every week. I also do videos for the strategic day trader room members during the week, so we'll talk about that if that were to transpire. But for now, we just take it one day at a time and remain objective, right? Remain objective. So that's the cues. The SPY is actually even more bullish. The SPY is well above the 200 MA, and it's still at resistance, or still has a little bit more room until it gets to resistance. But again, just gotta remain objective. Gotta remain objective. That's an uptrend. That's not a downtrend. You can't turn bearish just yet. As far as the FANG stocks, Facebook is already pulling back, but you have the rising 20 below, so it's not going to be a crash. Amazon is the only one that looks a little, from the FANG stocks, that looks a little weak. Notice the moving average pointing down. So this is the only one that looks lower. If we were to look at the weekly chart, it also has a weekly sell setup. So that's not bad to come in. It's not going to fall apart. Don't think it will. We started from a wide range bar. The last bar was, well, the last bar wasn't the smallest, but the one before it was. If you have multiple bars up and the first bar is the largest, right, and the last bar and the bars are getting smaller and smaller on the way up, that means we won't fall apart usually. But Amazon is the only one, I think, out of the FANG stocks that looks pretty vulnerable. Apple, I'm out of my Apple position. I hope some of you participated. I did it in the strategic day trader room, and I got out at 174.38, the back half. Okay, so somewhere near the top. It didn't really reach my target, which was 180, but it started to look a little toppy on the daily chart, and it did pull back $4 or so from my exit. But Apple doesn't look really that, it doesn't look bearish. On the daily it looks higher. On the weekly it looks a little bearish for sure. But on the daily it doesn't look higher. Guys, multiple time frame alignment between the daily and the weekly is a gold mine. You have to really learn that concept. Multiple time frame alignment. It's really, really important. Netflix is the strongest of the bunch because it's, if you look at the monthly chart, it fell apart. It lost 40%, if not more, from 423 to 230. That's 40%. That's 50% almost. And look at this, recovered, almost back up near the highs. Now, will it have a reaction after this rally, $150 rally? Yeah, it will. It'll pull back, right? And then the 20 MA will be there to catch it and take it back up. So I don't like Netflix at all here for a position, long or short. In fact, if anything, it's probably going to come in first. But Netflix had a spectacular move higher. Google remains, to me, the best one long term. Google has a monthly buy setup, honestly. In fact, it's not Google that looks the best. It's Intel that looks the best. But Intel is not part of the FANG stock, right? The FANG stocks. See that Intel? That looks really good. If you want a large cap that looks higher, I like Intel a lot. Google I like, but I don't like the rest, any of them really. Long term, I don't like any of them. Yep, I don't like any of them. Facebook is by far the weakest. Facebook definitely topped. The fact that we produced a wide range green bar after this sell-off tells me Facebook is done selling off. It's not going to come back down. Probably going to go sideways and then go higher. But it'll also go with the market. Whatever the market does, these are market stocks, so they'll go with the market. Okay, we talked a lot already, so let's go ahead and just take a look at some of the watches for Tuesday, since Monday is a holiday. We'll start with the AKRX, which actually already triggered. This is a nice transition A on the daily chart. If you draw a straight line, So that's basically the breakout. It's not the best breakout I've ever seen. You know why? For two reasons. One is, if I open up the chart a little bit, you would see that it triggered after multiple bars up. The best breakouts don't trigger after 3-4 green bars in a row. The best breakouts are the ones that base at the top and then break out. The other reason why this is not great is because of that weekly 20 MA is catching up. Again, multiple time frame alignment, which is a concept that I teach in both in the Strategic Swing Trader newsletter program, and then I also teach it in the day trading room every day almost, because every play that I take has to have multiple time frame alignment. BRS was a nice earnings play short. It was a 40% gain on the BRS, and then I played it. I also played it the next day as a day trade, and now it looks interesting. I'm going to show you the hourly chart right here. It looks interesting as a breakout on that hourly chart. So over the base, stop under. It's not bad. It's not the best I've ever seen, but it's not bad. This list is sorted alphabetically, to tell you the truth, because I don't want to sort it by quality or by favorite play, because the calls I'm making 5 calls for Tuesday from from the bullish and the bearish list, but I can't reveal those plays for you, calls, because that's for paying members, right? But out of this list, both of these lists, I'm making I'm gonna be I already posted the plays actually. I'm making 5 calls. Okay, BTX, just a beautiful daily buy setup. Beautiful. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to drag the blue chart, which is the daily time frame. For swing trading, the daily time frame is the time frame of focus for sure. Is the main time frame. So that's a beautiful daily buy setup. Entry above, stop below. CCJ is a daily buy setup. A little sloppy, but nice also monthly time frame. If you look at the monthly, that's not bad. So I like the CCJ long. Journ is a breakout. The issue with the Journ is the resistance to the left. See this? Notice, guys, you know, I have, that's $1.50, right? This is 135. I don't care about the price of the stock. All I care about is the pattern. If there is a pattern, then I don't care. Why discriminate based on the price of the stock? In fact, the low price stocks move a lot more. So if anything, I like them more. Okay, HMY is a daily buy setup. It's gold. I was in the SBGL up until it trailed me out, and I feel like I made a mistake trailing it. I went bar by bar right here. So because look at this, it didn't take out a single bar's low since I got in it on this day actually. So not since I got in it, but since it started to trend. Didn't take out single prior bar's low, so I said, okay, let's go ahead and trail it bar by bar. We trailed that right here, okay, and then it went higher. So this was supposed to be a long-term play, but because of the huge move up and the extension, I thought once it takes out the prior bar's low, then it would come in and I can get back in it. It didn't, so now I can get back not into the SBGL, but into another gold stock, which is the HMY. It's got a daily buy setup. I like it on every time frame almost. It would be a long-term play, just like the SBGL was, but this would be this is another gold stock that I'd be looking to play long-term. MAXR is, remember that AKRX transition A on the daily chart? Well, the what is it? The new one, the what was it? The MAXR is a transition A on the daily chart. This is even better. Okay, MAXR is really tight base. It tends to be volatile once it gets moving, but at the moment it's not moving at all. It's not going anywhere. So that's the MAXR. MDGL. Let me show you the most beautiful breakout you'll ever see. Ever. Look at this. From 15 to 325. I shorted it at the top, but it had $2 spread. So shorted it twice. One time it worked. The other time I got trailed out. I got shaken out basically. At the top. Look at this. 325. From where? From 15. Unbelievable. Look at how tight this was. Does this remind you a little bit of any of the symbols I showed you? How about the MAXR? Except the MAXR on the daily. This was on the monthly. It went from $15 towards the end of middle of 2017 to middle of 2018, not even, so about less than 2 years, from 15 to 325. No comments. No comments needed. Now that it fell apart like this, will it go back up to 325? Nope, it won't. You can take that to the bank. It won't. But could it rally up a little bit to, let's say, 175, even 200? Sure, it can have a little bit of a rally. If you want to call that a little bit of a rally, I mean, that would be like a 50% gain at least. So it has a daily 1, 2, 3, but it's a very wild stock. It's a pharmaceutical. Very, very wild. Riot is another transition A on the daily chart. So transition A breakout, not bad. SELB, transition A also. Small priced, low priced, over the base, stop under it. TROX, breakout. The issue is resistance to the left, but it's a nice daily breakout. WLL is a beautiful daily breakout at all-time highs. I just want you to know that I prefer something that is actually transitioning at the bottom. The SELB is not one of the 5 I'm going to play, but I'm just showing you something that's transitioning here at the bottom. I prefer that over something that's basing at the all-time highs, because something that's basing at the all-time highs, while that's a sign of bullishness, really strong, all eyes are on it. So what happens is, here's what happens, because everybody's aware of it. It breaks out, people get in it, and then the next day they start selling, right? And then it fails. So I prefer something that doesn't have all eyes on it. Let me show you the weekly chart on the WLL. Isn't that a beauty? That weekly buy setup right here. Another weekly buy setup. What a beauty. So that was the right way to play it, is back here. On the daily, it wasn't set up right, because I remember this. It didn't have a multiple time frame alignment. But look, guys, this is the tip of the day. Okay? If you want to play a weekly buy setup, and the daily is still not looking good, meaning we still have a declining 20 above price rather than a rising 20 below it, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to play only if there's multiple time frame alignment between the daily and the weekly. But if you love the weekly chart, and on the WELL was a gorgeous weekly buy setup, you look at the daily chart and ask yourself, did the daily pullback break any significant pivots? Did we have a nice V pivot that it actually broke? I would argue this wasn't. This was just only 1 bar here, 2 bars actually. So it wasn't a significant pivot. So if it doesn't break a significant pivot on the way down, then you can play it long, that weekly buy setup, even if you don't have a good, nice looking daily chart, even if you don't have alignment between the 2 time frames. Okay? In which case, the entry for this should have been over that red bar, long. And then, bam. Nice move, huh? But I didn't play it. I mean, I missed it. I'm just aware of it, but because I scan my stock universe. This is one of the items on my stock universe, and I love that daily breakout. Looks beautiful. WY is another daily buy setup right here, long, but it's been up with the market since the market bottom. It's been up a lot, so this would be a one shot, one target kind of a play. So just till the prior highs and then out. So those are my bullish watches for Tuesday. Bearish watches, we have AGN, daily sell setup. Let's check on the weekly. Downtrending, which is good. Doesn't have to look perfect in a downtrend. Monthly, downtrending also. Looks lower to the 200 MA on the monthly chart, which is around $100. Okay? AGN has a nice looking daily sell setup. And then if you look at the hourly, we have a transition C. So short under the base, stop above it. AGN. ARNC is a daily sell setup right off the declining 20. It doesn't have a lot of reward to risk on the ARNC. ELGX is a 50-cent stock. I know, you think I'm crazy, but I've been doing this for long enough. And again, I'm telling you, price of stock rarely does it matter. There are some instances when I do care about the price of the stock, such as when the stock is gapping, such as when the stock is going climactic. I don't like to fade low price stocks because they don't work. Remember the solo from a couple of days ago? If you try to fade that, so I don't fade low price stocks anymore. It went from basically from $1.30 to $4.50, and then the next day to $7, almost $6.74 in 2 days. From $1.30 to $6.70. So they don't make for good fades. Yes, they come in at some point, but you have to try them probably 3-4 times before you finally catch one, and by that time your account will have suffered considerably, right? So I don't fade low price stocks. So again, there are instances when I do care about the price of the stock, but not for swing trading the way I do it. So the ELGX is a breakdown. INO is a 1, 2, 3 short under the base, I guess. It's not very good because yesterday's bar was pretty big. If it was a tight bar, then I would do it. And then if you look at the weekly and the monthly, it's at all-time lows, I believe. So it's, I mean, not all-time lows, but looks good on the monthly as a breakdown. Looks really good. Monthly, weekly under the support. So I like it. But I'm going to wait for another narrow range bar. SGMO is a daily sell setup. SGMO I traded that day, and now has a nice looking daily sell setup, short under the base, stop above it. And TEUM doesn't have a setup yet, but it's going climactic. This is another low price stock. It's not a $1 stock, but it's, you know, I like it to be $10 or more or higher before I fade, but this is looking nice and climactic. So I'm going to be watching this. TEUM. To tell you the truth, I like to short, as I always say, more than to play long, but the bullish list looks better than the bearish list. There's only one item from here that I have a call on. If you can guess which one, feel free. Okay? Actually, if you type it into the comment section, and you only have one guess though. If you type it into the comment section, maybe I'll tell you which one it is. I have only one play short that I'm looking to do, and 4 longs. Okay? Again, I hope you're doing well. We're coming towards the end of earnings season. What did I do yesterday that was good? Because I think I caught one that was in a nice downtrend. What was it? Let me just look up my P&L. I think I took a picture. Okay. Oh, it was the NWL. It was the NWL. So I hope you're able to catch it. I had 2 plays on it in the strategic day trader room, 2 nice breakdowns, and it made the bulk of the money yesterday. There were some nice plays in the afternoon, like the LOGM, no follow through. The true, this was from the morning, the 550, 520, in the afternoon didn't follow through. It was picture perfect. So that was my day yesterday. And then Matt, unfortunately, I couldn't get filled on the way down. But I got filled on the way up as a long, so it made 680. But the NWL, let me show you the NWL. NWL was a nice gap, really nice gap at support. That was the only issue, but I just want to show you gaps and trends are stronger than support. Okay, powerful gaps, they slice through support like a hot knife through butter. Look at this, went through all of that support. True, how about true? Went right to support, gapped right support, sliced through it, went through it. So let me show you the NWL real quick. I know this video is for swing trading, not for day trading, so I don't want to waste anybody's time, but here's the 2 plays. The breakdown under 1782, I believe. 17 or 83, something like this. 17, so 7, what was the low of the day from here? 1783, see it? Look in the upper left, low, LO, 1783. So that was the first entry, short, stop above the base. Beautiful. I don't know where I covered, to tell you the truth. And then the second entry was under 1850. It based again, right? Under 1850. That's 1851. So under 1851, but usually I like to short once the whole number or the half number breaks. Notice how it tried to go higher here. So that's a breakout failure. It's not a real breakout failure, but that's what it is. An attempt by the bulls to take it higher, and it failed, got negated. And then look at the 1 penny base right here, or 2 penny base. Look how tight the base. I mean, this is no brainer. Short, right? I don't know where I covered, to tell you the truth. But this was nice. This was probably the bigger of the 2 that made the most of the money. And then it didn't go anywhere, I believe. Didn't go anywhere. Just popped and then dropped. But once I get the volume spike, I usually cover. Okay, once I get the volume spike. Okay, so that was the NWL. And did I have anything else that was worthy of discussing? I mean, the true is a terrific professional gap down. Matt was I didn't see it when it was dropping and getting halted because of I was scanning for the earnings plays. So I was scanning the earnings list. And I didn't see all of this, but I tried to short it towards the end of the day and I couldn't get filled. I played it long. I'm going to show you the volume spike. Mentioned also in the room, but I didn't call it because I didn't have time. well, is that the volume spike that I saw? Yep, but let's just see what the 1 minute looks like. 1 and the 5. There it is. See it? What a beauty. Look at that volume spike after being down so much. So that was the bottom. And then to 40, I believe, to 1440 or so. 1430, I guess. 1430. So let me show you one other concept. So if you're looking to play a climactic long and the first one fails, I call it the second time around. The second time it should work. In fact, in this case, the first one worked, right? But I wasn't aware of it, okay, because I was scanning and then it came up later on. The second time also worked, right? Does that make sense? So if the first one fails, usually with climactics, the second one doesn't. The second one actually works. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you found benefit in today's video, I'm gonna switch on the cam so you can see me. If you found benefit in today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. If you think friends or colleagues would appreciate some of the information that I shared with you, feel free to also share it. If you have any questions, reach out to our customer service. They would connect you to me, or you can also reach out to me if you have my email address. But I do wish you all the best in your trading and in your personal life as well. Enjoy the long weekend, guys, and make money. Happy trading. Take care, everybody.